Hi guys, I'm Woodcraft Hamster, and I thought I would do a quick sneak peek video today of a new piece of kit that I'm going to be reviewing over the next couple of months. Now this is the ESEE 6, formerly known as the Rat 6, and it's a knife that I've been after for quite some time. I've never been able to justify the expense of buying these, and very fortunately a good friend of mine bought one 3 or 4 months ago. He's had a play around with it since then and he's not 100% sure it's the right knife for him. So very kindly he's given me the opportunity to give it a bit of a test, you know, keep hold of it for a month or so, have a play around with it, and if it is something I want to keep, then he's going to give me the opportunity to purchase it off him a little bit cheaper than I would pay for it in the shops. So just to give you a very brief, but let me keep it in the sheath for now. So basically this is the knife and the sheath it comes with. I'm not a huge fan of this sheath, and if I do end up buying it, I may end up investing in a slightly nicer one. It's a kind of ABS plastic, sort of Kydex type material. I don't have the full spec in front of me at the moment. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's got a nice solid clip, you know, and you've got a little bit of movement to help getting it out when it's on your belt. But it's you know, it's okay, and it certainly does the job. It's just not something that particularly appeals to me. But moving away from the sheath, you've got quite a nice little sort of set of indentations here, and what that will allow you to do is just to use that to put some pressure, take the knife out of the sheath. So basically you're not having to do this when you take the knife out, which is very important for safety, obviously. Now the knife itself, I'll throw some specs up on the screen in a second just so you can get things like blade length, material, overall length, etc. But it is a big knife. If I put that up, say, against my forearm here, or from my hand, you know, it goes halfway up my forearm. This is quite a large knife, and this is exactly what I wanted. The reason being is I wanted to take a large knife out and about with me, which in theory will mean I don't have to carry an axe. Now, to be fair, I don't have to carry an axe regardless, and I expect there's quite a few of you screaming at the screen right now. But I prefer to carry an axe because I find it a very useful tool, helps me preparing firewood, helps me with carving, that kind of thing. And the reason I wanted a large knife like this is because I think, and hopefully time will tell on this, that this type, style and particularly size of knife will allow me to do all of those things for a smaller, lighter package, so to speak. So I'll be able to use this to split you know, medium-sized wood, maybe, let's have a look, maybe something sort of this kind of size. You know, I can get that on there, I can batten it down, that helps me prepare my firewood. Again, if I want to do a little bit of carving while I'm out, I can use this knife, split down a piece of wood a similar sort of size, and I should quite easily be able to carve something like a spoon with this. And that's one of the reasons for choosing this particular knife. There's a lot of reviews around. You know, type in ESEE 6 on Google or on YouTube, and you will find hundreds of reviews about this knife. And one thing that seems to come out on a lot of them for me is that even though it's a big knife, it does handle fine carving reasonably well. Maybe not as well as something with a Scandinavian grind, which is what I normally use, like my Moras, but this is meant to be able to do it really well. Now, out of the box, well, I say out of the box, it's been used for a couple of months, but my friend hasn't sharpened it, and he really hasn't abused it in any way, shape or form. Hopefully you can sort of see the edge on there. There's no nicks, there's no damage, and this is as it comes sharpened out of the factory. So to all intents and purposes, this knife is almost brand new out of the box. Now, I have been, again, very kindly given permission to make some modifications to this knife. A couple of reasons my friend isn't keen on it is, one, I'll give you an example here. If I take my ferro rod, so hopefully you can see here, this has got a sort of a black painted coating all over the blade of this knife. What that means is that you cannot strike a spark from it, and obviously for a bushcraft, I mean, this is, in fairness, this is more of a survival knife than a bushcraft knife, though I think it can do both jobs, or hopefully do both jobs reasonably well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a little bit off the paint off the back. I will probably end up bluing it or something along those lines just to protect it from rust and that kind of thing. There was a really good review of this by Mike at MCQ Bushcraft, who's I'm a big fan of. And what he has done, not only has he taken the paint off the back here, but just in front of this sort of stippling, which gives you a very good grip for your thumb for sort of heavier work, he's actually used a rounded file and filed in a groove just where he's taken the paint off, which corresponds to the ferro rod. Which means you've got a really nice area for striking and getting a real sort of shower of sparks from the ferro rod. So anyway guys, that's the new knife that I'm going to be playing with for a little while. You'll see some upcoming videos of me. What I might do is actually do a video of me playing around doing some of the mods as well, just so you can see how I'm doing it. And you'll be seeing a bit more of this in the near future. So I hope it was useful. Hit like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Comments below, and I hope you'll all join me next time. Thanks guys.